Hello everyone. Today I've come back to Silksworth to Silksworth Parish Church. It's called St Matthew's. I've only ever been here once before. That was I think it was probably last October, something like that. Just thought I'd have a little pop back and see. I think I mentioned when I did the video last time I could have spent a lot longer here, but I think I only did about 18 minutes. So for anybody not from the area, Silksworth used to be a village outside Sunderland and Bishop Weymouth. Now it's just like part of the city of Sunderland. It used to have its own colliery, and as this headstone here tells us, an affectionate remembrance of Margaret Robson, wife of John William Robson of Silksworth Colliery. She died, I think that's 1885. She was 41 years. And the epitaph that her husband has put on, let me get my torch working here because it's a little bit dark. Sorry, I'm just wobbling. The voyage of life's at an end. The mortal affliction is past. The age that in heaven they spend forever and ever shall last. So, husband to a wife. One thing I noticed is cracking display of daffodils. Have a look over the daffodils. I think it was mid-1800s this church was built to serve the growing population. It had a colliery, so a few farms in the area. Previous to that, any of the residents would have probably had to go down to Bishop Weymouth or Sunderland or over to Horton or Harrington to get all the church services and burials and so on. Quite a few daffodils around. Obviously since then Sunderland has expanded and taken in all these old villages like Tunstall, Silksworth, South Hilton, Castletown, to name a few. It's just one headstone amongst all that lot, sadly worn away quite a bit. I think that's for members of the is it Lee or B family? Weathered quite a bit, that one. If I remember, there was a fine one along here. See if we can find any Commonwealth grave ones as well. That's in loving memory of John Craven of Silksworth House, eldest son of Hiram Craven, the Briery, Sunderland. Hiram Craven was an industrialist, and the Briery is the sixth form, is the building which is the sixth form for St Aidan's College. The Cravens came from Yorkshire originally and were heavily involved in the building of the South Dock. An extended family. There's a few of them. A few mentioned Silksworth Colliery I can see. Tweddle. And then look, to the memory of Robert Pyle, Doxford, died 25th of March 1932, aged 81 years, and also his wife Ada. I'm not great on shipbuilding, but I think he is the shipbuilder, and I think they owned Doxford House. There's another member of the Charles Upgrade. So a couple of fine family burial plots there for that family. As you can see, it looks like it's still in use over there. There's quite a few new burials, but back in the 1850s, 60s, 70s, It would all just been fields over there, but look, all the new estates. I can see Tunstall Lodge in the distance. See what we can find. There's quite a few Irish people came across. That says Mulligan. In the midst of life we are at death. There's Frederick James Story of the Grenadier Guards, whose beloved husband of Eliza Story, who was killed in action in France October the 9th, 1917, aged 32 years. Careful, because there's some pansies or something on the floor. In loving memory of Ralph, the beloved husband of Mary Jane Elliott, who died March the 6th, 1904, aged 65 years. Hide me, O my Saviour, hide, till the storm of life is past. Safe into the haven guide, or receive my soul at last. One of the most daffodils I've seen in a cemetery, and that's John George, the beloved son of William and Margaret Ancar, who was accidentally injured in Silksworth pit July the 24th and died July the 27th, 1907. He was just 18 years down the pit, probably been down for a few years before his tragic accident. There's quite a few, if I remember, memorials for those who died in colliery accidents. That's Mycock. Cowie. There's quite a few cowies around Silksworth, Ryhope. And there's one here for a surname which isn't that common. Loving memory of George, the beloved son of James and Elizabeth Shillaw, who died June the 23rd as a result of an accident at Silksworth Colliery, aged just 23 years and 3 months, deeply regretted by the members of the Sunderland West End Football Club, by whom this stone was erected in memory of their dear comrade. It was a nice little touch by his fellow teammates and members of the Sunderland West End Club. It's a club I don't know that much about. I don't know if it's one of those early ones before Sunderland Football Club opened. See if I can see anything else that catches my eye. It stretches right down to that far wall and to this right across to there, but the older section pretty much stops about 10 metres over from there. There is another graveyard in Silksworth, but I think that's the Catholic one further along the road from here. Obviously a lot of the Irish who arrived here would be Catholic. Seen a few Liddles or Liddell. Be another quite a few Scottish arrivals in the 1800s here. Walk around here, it's a bit spongy. In affectionate remembrance of William, the beloved husband of Elizabeth Allen, who died September the 29th, 1894. He was aged 68 years, and look at that. Erected by a few friends. You couldn't get much more simpler than that, could you? Obviously helping his widow out, because not everybody could afford a headstone, or there wasn't any family left to purchase one for somebody. Just trying to get through without tripping up. It's another car. See if I can find a soldier. Or some old ones. More daffodils. Quite uneven, the surface. It's a great surname, isn't it? Thomas Snowball. How was he? 52 years old. That's one for William, the beloved son of Henry and Esther Hodgson, who was accidentally killed August the 22nd, 1898. Doesn't say what accident was. I think these are some of the older ones up here. Now, when I came here last time, I was looking, there was a famous murder which took place between Silksworth and Tunstall, where the murderer was executed. And she was buried here. And I saw a picture in an old Sunderland Echo, but I never took a picture of it so I could find it. And that was in the 1970s, so it's possibly one of these ones. It's not that one, there's somebody else. There's another person accidentally killed at Silksworth Colliery, William Wigham. This was the one I thought it could have been. So let me torch to shine a bit brighter. Now, look at this one. Who was killed on a railway station, 1878. Now with this, I've even forgotten a name. But it was famous execution because it was botched at Durham. Oh, that's better. Who was killed at, so if it's 1878 that she was murdered, this was her headstone in the midst. Yeah, it was close to the railway line which goes from Silksworth across near Tunstall Hill. She was sadly murdered by evil husband, even though I think it was a bigamous marriage. Let's have a look for her. So there's a soldier over here. Not seen that surname before. Elizabeth Fairgrief, Mordew. See what this hero is. J.W. Elliott, something battery, OMR Sergeant, Royal Field Artillery, 22nd of January 1921, age 37. I think the cut-off point for Commonwealth graves was later that year, so if you're a soldier and you died after that date, I don't think you got one of those Commonwealth grave commissions. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Another soldier over there. It's a good view of the church, St Matthew's. It is very uneven, I'm going to be careful. It's a beautiful angel. That looks like it's the work of our friend, Mr. Edwin Smythe, one of Sunderland's leading monumental masons, who was known for his mosaics, amongst lots of other talented things that he does. That's one of my favourite surnames. Look at that. Lovely memory of George. It's either Gustard or Custard. I can never work out the C's and G's. Look at that. I think it could be a G, Gustard. He was born December the 26th, Boxing Day 1854, died 1919. And sadly, mentions Frederick, their son, killed in the Great War, September the 16th, 1916, aged 31 years. And then it's got some other children there, must be Flossie, Connie, Katie. Good Victorian names. It's a bit chilly. It's a great name. Ephraim. And there's another snowball. Seen quite a few snowballs around Ryop and Silksworth. Well, that's a fine headstone. I wonder if that's Edwin Smythe. Normally has his... Can't say anything, but that looks like his lettering. If you can see, look at that. It's members of the Forest family. There's a couple of Commonwealth gravestones over there. That's another memory of Captain Alfred Augustus Beeks, RAMG TF, I think TF's Territorial Force, who died February the 21st, 1913, aged 38 years. I've not come across him before. RAMG, is that, could be Royal Artillery Machine Guns, but TF, I think, Territorial Force. I think we'll see one more soldier before we have to end the video. Let's have a look who we got. Another good Sunderland name, Donkin. MT Donkin, gunner. 29th November 1918. Sadly, doesn't say his age, but any of these, if you go on Google, you should be able to find out. There's a Donkin behind him, so it must be family. That's a good name, Curtin. Right. Thank you very much for watching. If you do enjoy the video, give it a like, click on the subscribe, help grow the channel. I'm off to get warm because it's absolutely freezing. I need to do some shopping, so I will see you next time.